Do you ever find yourself lying in bed next to the person that you love and you're lonely? Not the kind of lonely that comes from being alone, but the kind that comes from feeling unseen by someone who's right there next to you. You can't remember the last time a conversation felt genuine and easy. Maybe you can't remember the last time physical closeness felt like it came from real desire rather than duty or guilt. And the scary part isn't the distance itself, it's that you've both stopped mentioning it because you don't even know how to start that conversation without it turning into something else entirely. I want to show you what's actually happening because I don't think it's what either of you think it is. Most couples believe the path back to intimacy runs through better communication. If you can learn to talk it through better, you could stop the fighting, you would feel closer, and the intimacy would return. So you might argue less, talk more, but in that talking, you're not really saying what needs to be said because you're afraid it'll lead to a fight or more distance. You might book that vacation, and maybe the closeness returns for a little while, but it doesn't come back in the long term. And that's because the sequence is wrong. Intimacy, emotional and physical, is not a destination that you reach after you fix other things. It's a living thing. It requires one specific condition to survive: the feeling that this person is safe to fully be yourself with. You're safe to be honest. You're safe to be vulnerable. You're safe to want something and ask for it. The moment that safety erodes, and unfortunately in long-term relationships it often does, quietly, gradually, intimacy starts to retreat. First emotional intimacy and then physical intimacy. And this is not because the love is gone. This is because the nervous system won't allow openness when it doesn't feel safe. The arguing is your nervous system's defending themselves. The emotional distance is self-protection. The physical withdrawal is your body's honest response to feeling unseen or unmet. None of it means you've fallen out of love. It means that safety broke down and nobody noticed until the intimacy was already gone. Now, when you understand this, you stop trying to fix your relationship from the outside in with better dates or fewer arguments or more effort. But instead, you start building it from the inside out. Because when two people feel genuinely safe with each other again, intimacy doesn't have to be manufactured. It returns naturally. That is not a theory. This is what I watch happen with couples who finally understand what they've actually been missing. They think they might have a communication problem that's killing intimacy. They think they could just stop fighting and then the closeness would come back. And they're treating conflict as the disease and intimacy as the reward for fixing it. But the communication problems and the lost intimacy, they're not two separate issues. They're the same issue. They're just wearing different clothes. So both are symptoms of the same thing, that emotional safety has eroded. You cannot fight your way back to closeness, and you also can't schedule your way back with date nights. Real intimacy, the kind where you feel actually known by your partner and seen and understood, where physical closeness feels like connection rather than obligation, this only lives in the presence of safety. It cannot be forced, it cannot be performed into existence, and it grows when two people consistently experience each other as a safe place to land. The reason the bedroom has gone quiet isn't a physical problem. The reason the emotional distance feels so vast isn't that you've run out of things to say. It's that somewhere along the way, being fully open with this person started to feel unsafe, started to feel risky, and both of you, without ever deciding to, started protecting yourselves from each other. You didn't lose the intimacy because you stopped communicating well. You lost it somewhere along the way because being truly open with each other started to feel like a risk that neither of you could afford. So the question becomes, how do you rebuild that safety? How do you get back to a place where honesty doesn't feel dangerous and closeness doesn't feel like work? In the next video, I'm going to show you the 3 things that quietly erode safety in long-term relationships. Most couples are doing all 3 of these without even realizing it, and I'll show you exactly what starts to shift when you replace them. If you've ever felt like you and your partner are trying but somehow still missing each other, my next video was made for you.